Pulse rifles, dad rifles, little bursty boys. Call them whatever you want, but I call them my favorite class of weapons. What's up guys, it's Roger and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be checking out my top 5 favorite pulse rifles. Shout out to this name that I have no clue how to pronounce for giving me the idea for the video. This one's for you. Let's hop into my 5th favorite pulse to start us off. Number 5. Starting us off here, we have a fairly new gun, but one that I've seen people enjoying quite a bit. The Peace of Mind is a rapid fire frame and can be crafted, although I still need one more deep sight version to craft one myself. And you might be in the same boat, but I do have a secret for you. If you give the like button a little tickle, you receive a 1,000,000% higher chance to get one to drop. Peace of Mind is an amazing gun. First of all, with rapid fire frame pulse rifles, there is another one on this list and we'll get to that, but I do like them quite a bit. I gotta say, I don't think they work as well in the meta, but I have seen a lot of people favoring this pulse rifle lately, and even in this last weekend of trials that we just had, I saw people pulling it out fairly regularly. I really do love it myself. It has a really clean scope, as you see here, just that nice little red dot, which is a big thing that I like on my guns, is a very clean red dot sight is one of my favorite sights to have in the game. And you don't usually get that. With a lot of guns you might get like chunky shit and it's terrible. When you do get the red dot sights, it's just so nice and it really helps me stay on target right on top of the head and go off. There is some other stuff kind of cluttering the reticle that I don't love around the red dot, but for the most part I can kind of ignore that and get through it. Now it has a good amount of zoom on it as well, as you can see, and that really enables this, even though it's a rapid fire frame, to use at ranges. It works very well. Now something I use on every single one of my pulse rifles is a full auto retrofit mod, and I would definitely recommend to you guys using it as well. It's going to let you shoot all of your pulse rifles at maximum speed, and you don't even have to keep clicking, you can just hold the fire button down. So I'd highly recommend slapping that on your pulse rifles. You're going to see every single bit of gameplay I have in this video, I have full auto retrofit on. So I only hold down that fire button one time here when I start shooting, and it shoots the entire burst until I let go, and it's an absolutely amazing thing to slap on your pulses. That being said, if you haven't tried this gun for yourself, I'd highly recommend giving it a go. Now let's go ahead and jump into our next entry. Number 4. Coming up next here, we have the Syncopation 53, which is another weapon you can craft, and this one I actually have. I even have some enhanced traits on here. Now the Syncopation is an adaptive frame pulse rifle. That's going to make it extremely sturdy, and it has some crazy range on it too. I have rangefinder and then an enhanced moving target. So that's going to make me have so much stability in handling in range when I'm just aiming down sights, and this thing goes crazy. It's not even a high impact frame, but it hits harder at longer ranges than even some high impacts can, and I absolutely love that about it. Now I've been using this thing quite a bit since it came out with Witch Queen, and I would highly recommend crafting one if you haven't yet, because man, it's really carried me in some matches. I was using it a good bit on trials this weekend. I switched off of it eventually, but I gotta say, especially on Midtown trials, which we just had, this thing goes crazy. On a map like this, on Burnout, if you can get to an area like I'm at right now, you can do some pretty crazy work. As you see, it has some pretty nutty range, hitting 31 to the head right there, and I really like rocking this thing. Now the best part about this gun is that it's craftable, like I said earlier, so you can get your own and put any perks you want on it and put that all the way to your own opinion. You know, if you don't want moving target, you'd rather have something else, you can go ahead and slap that on. And I think that's what's so great about this thing. But you can see right here, just holding it down lane can be absolutely nuts. And again, with that full auto retrofit, you can just full auto this thing and it goes crazy. So I really love this thing. You hit a few headshots, you can tap people like crazy, and it makes it a very, very solid pulse rifle in my opinion. If you don't have one, I definitely recommend going and picking one up and craft that thing to your heart's content, because once you get that nice roll, oh yeah, you're gonna be using it for a while. Let's go ahead and slide on over to our next entry. Number 3. Coming in at number 3, we have the No Time to Explain. Now this is an exotic pulse rifle, and it came out with Beyond Light, and I gotta say, this thing is crispy as all hell. Now, the No Time to Explain has something that I really love that I've been talking about the entire video, which is an amazing reticle. It also has this tiny little red dot, and it just feels so crispy. I think it's the crispiest feeling pulse rifle to me out of any of them. When you shoot your shots, I feel like they almost always go straight to where you're shooting, whereas with a lot of guns, I feel like they do whiff a lot of the time. Maybe that's just been servers lately. You guys let me know if you've had that experience at all. But with the No Time, I rarely ever feel that, even if I think the servers might be a little bad. Now, coming out of that, since it is an exotic, we have an interesting exotic perk to go along with that. Once you hit 10 headshots, you get a little buddy above you that shoots out bullets. and you can't say no to that. Once you have the catalyst for it, it's going to shoot out even faster. I absolutely love this, and also every headshot you hit puts the bullet straight back into your mag. So you can shoot this thing for so long, and I've had so many times where I had 2, 3, 4, 5 tears of enemies just standing in front of me, and then we'll just go off because my gun just keeps reloading itself, and then the little buddy is just shooting out like crazy too, and I'm absolutely slaying out. Put yourself a rift down, get yourself a clearance, and you can absolutely smack with this thing. Now, the stability, like I was saying, is so fresh, and I think that's what makes it so crispy, and I just love it so much. If you haven't tried this thing, I definitely recommend it. You look at it and you see a small mag size of 24, but like I said, it reloads on those headshots, and it's just an absolutely amazing gun. So definitely pick one up, make yourself a build that has a clearance in it, maybe a vortex need, you know, get some map lockdown with that stuff, and then just shred your enemies with this at long range. Have a shotgun on for those close range engagements, and let me tell you, you're going to be smacking, because this thing is the absolute cream of the crop. And it is high impact, by the way. It doesn't show that on exotics, but it is, and absolutely amazing. Gotta love it. But I think we need to show off a little bit of a faster shooting gun. Let's go to our number 2 spot. Number 2. Next up we have the Darkest Before. Now this is another rapid fire frame pulse rifle, and this thing is so clean and sleek. The sight is this little red dot, it just butters my biscuit. Now the Darkest Before is an amazing rapid fire frame pulse rifle. It shoots so fast, and my favorite thing about it is this reticle. Look at this, the tiniest little red dot, put it right on their head, and you will be absolutely smacking. And that's the thing, the range on there is not terrible considering how fast it shoots. And you can get a lot of sprees with this thing as well. You do need to be careful, because if you're not hitting headshots with this thing, you probably will get smacked pretty hard. That's often my problem. If I don't use this thing for a while, just like I slapped it back on earlier today to get this footage for you guys, I wasn't hitting as much head as I needed to. I mean, look at all those yellow numbers, but if you miss a few of those yellow numbers, then you're not gonna get the kill a lot of the times. I was able to flick over there and get that guy, but if you're not hitting those crits, you might want to kiss your kill goodbye. So you need to be very accurate with this gun, but once you get the recoil down and stuff, which there's not much of anyways, but if you're getting flinched and whatnot, that's where you gotta learn. But see, like right there, you absolutely melt people at those mid ranges when you have the headshots. So if you can just do that and really get that down, then you will be absolutely smacking with this thing. Now I don't know if you can get it anymore. I was looking and I know that it used to be the dungeon in the tower. I didn't see it in the tower anymore. I don't really keep up on stuff like that, to be honest. I don't play too much PvE. So if you guys know if you can't do that dungeon anymore, that's where you used to be able to get it. I forget what the dungeon was even called, but I don't even have the best roll of this thing. I wanted to grind more rolls, but I only ever really did that dungeon like 2 times. So I'm just happy with the roll that I have, which was Surplus and Elemental Capacitor, which Elemental Capacitor is actually a perk that I love to have on my guns. Since I'm always on Void, I always have the extra stability, so I highly recommend trying out some Elemental Capacitors on your guns if you guys are running Void and Blink Warlock like I am, which I assume you are if you're subscribed and watching my videos. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop into that big old crispy number 1 position. Number 1. Vigilance Wing. You've been waiting for this, and here it is. Another exotic, and a 5-round burst at that. This thing is absolutely amazing. Now, Vigilance Wing has been my favorite pulse rifle for a long time. It took me 3 years to get the damn catalyst for this thing to drop. The catalyst drops from winning or just finishing PvP matches, at least that's what it says, but it took me 3 years to get it to drop. Now the catalyst just makes it full auto fire, which again, I love on my pulse rifles. Now this thing having a 5-round burst lets you 2-tap, or 2-burst I suppose, extremely easily, and you're gonna see, like watch this guy drop down right here and watch me 2-burst him. It's nuts damage, and it's a high impact frame as well, so it gets crazy range. The stability on it is very good, and the reticle is really nice as well. Some people get really thrown off by the huge things on the side of the reticle, but it's never really thrown me off, and it's never really been a problem for me. I know there is a ornament for it that gets rid of those things, and people really like that. I don't personally have it. If I ever got it, I'd definitely give it a try, but I love the base skin for this thing. I think it's absolutely amazing, and this gun is absolutely amazing. Now, a lot of the perks for it are kind of like made for trials, really, when you're the last one alive and your fire team and whatnot. You get extra little boosts, and it really can make a huge difference. When you actually are the last one alive and you have this Vigilance Wing on, you can go crazy mode, and I really love this thing. If you haven't pulled this thing out in a while, do it. Give it a try, and just have some fun and go off on some people. At least if you didn't have to wait 3 years to get the catalyst like me, then you should definitely do it. But if you don't have it, I mean, it's still a crazy good gun, even without the full auto. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. These are my top 5 pulse rifles. Tell me your opinions. Do you like pulse rifles at all? I know a lot of people shit on them, but if you like them, tell me. Tell me your favorite ones as well. I'd love to know. And tell me what you think of my top 5 list, because I love discussing with you guys. And if you want to have a even more in-depth discussion than just the YouTube comments, go ahead and join the Blinkville Discord server. I'll have that link below. And if you enjoyed, feel free to leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to see more in the future. I'm gonna go play with some more pulse rifles. Have a great day, Guardians.